Yeah, so my name's Simon. I'm from Ireland, but I've spent the last 3 years bike touring around Europe. So I'm a data analyst for Komoot, a routing and navigation company, but they're fully remote. So during the week, I live out of a hotel or Airbnb or whatever, and I have my desk and internet. And then on the weekend, for the last 3 years, I've been traveling from place to place. And on Saturday night, staying with a different Warmshowers host, getting to know people from all over Europe. So I think the appeal of bike touring, to explain to someone that's never done it before, is that it gives you the freedom that cars promised you. So I think it's like this true freedom where if you want to go from one town to another over this crazy mountain range, a car just couldn't do that. Like the roads are too narrow or too tight or too twisty, and walking it would be too far. You'd never get there. You couldn't carry enough food or water. But with a bike, you can normally carry enough things to get from place to place and take these absurd routes where like you're completely out in nature. You can do whatever you want. So that's kind of been it for me, is like this freedom of movement, this autonomy that I can't really find through any other mode of transport. Yeah, so I'd say the biggest cultural difference I've noticed was when I was in Bosnia. So I'm from Ireland, where the cost of living is a lot higher, salaries are a lot higher than in Bosnia. So it was very surprising to me when a Bosnian man offered to pay for my hotel room for the night. I was in an area without any warm showers, or like I was heading into an area without any. I was staying with him, but he wanted me to have a really good experience of the country and offered to pay for that. And I tried to think about what that would mean if I did the same thing. And it's like me offering to pay for like a Swiss person's hotel, for example, if they came to visit Ireland. And I don't think I would have done that before now, because I know that they probably have more money than me and it's not necessary, but it was just this passion to like show off the place you're from to somebody else and make sure they have a really good experience in your country. And it was that kindness and that generosity from somebody who, yeah, ultimately has less than you and is choosing to be super generous with it. That really stuck with me, and I've tried to pay that forward now whenever I can. To be a good guest, there's sort of an element of this open-mindedness you need to have. Like, you're not just going to a hotel where you check in and you can isolate yourself. Like, you're being welcomed into somebody's home, and it's normally somebody who's both passionate about what you're doing and showing off the area to make sure you have a good time. So like, it's very easy to be tired after a long day of touring and want to go to bed, but saying yes to these opportunities. So I've been invited to a concert from one host. Like, I arrive at the house and an hour later we're at a concert. I've been taken rock climbing with one guy the next morning. So he just asked me if I wanted to get up at 6 a.m. the next day and go rock climbing before I needed to leave for my tour to then get to the next town. So just these sort of opportunities, I think it makes it really memorable for you, and then for the host to be able to share their passions with you is super nice. And then the other thing, I guess, which is a bit contradictory, is just communicating clearly. Like, sometimes you are too tired to say this, to do these things, and just being able to say that like the host knows. They're all tours as well, they get it. So just being able to say, hey, actually I think I need to go to bed, so that there isn't this mismatch where they're dragging you around the town and you'd really rather be at home, and then it's not going to be enjoyable for either person. But yeah, just being able to be open-minded and communicate, and you end up having these incredible experiences with some really passionate people. Yeah, so the biggest way it's changed my life, I guess, let me say that again. It's not a guess. I practice this. I'm like, why am I guessing? Yeah, the biggest way it's changed my life is it's given me access to essentially this group of like-minded people just everywhere in the world. Like, I was always told about networking, where you have to meet people that have similar interests to you. You go to these conferences or whatever. But signing up to Warmshowers essentially is networking with this huge group of tours where you have people you can go to anywhere in the world. And it means that after a couple of days where you meet people outside shops or in towns and they're like, oh, where are you going? Where are you from? How far do you ride? Is it not tiring? Whatever. You get the same questions over and over again, but then you get to stay with someone who just gets it. You can skip all the like repetitive questions and skip to what I think are the good bits, the like real adventure stories, where if you try to explain it to somebody else, they just can't comprehend the sort of thing you're up to. But someone else is like, oh yeah, I've also had to sleep in a ditch in a storm and all this. Like, it's just, you end up with these people that share these stories. So it's nice to have connections all over the world where you can just immediately skip that, the small talk essentially. And then the other thing is, because I'm more on the touring side at the minute, I haven't been able to pay it forward. So another way it's changed me is that now whenever I meet someone on tour and I have booked a place because there hasn't been a host in the area, now I ask them if they want to stay with me. So like I am just having people sleep on the floor in hotel rooms or whatever, but it's taught me this idea of just paying it forward, where normally I think, oh, we could go to the same place together, but instead it's like, hey, why don't we all just sleep on the same floor and we'll figure this out? And you end up having these, yeah, you just find these friends all over the place. So that's been super nice. Yeah, so I decided to join Warm Showers. It was through a recommendation of someone that lived in the same town as me. I told him my plan for the trip. At the time, it was to fly to the other side of Europe and cycle home. And he just mentioned a few different things that he had used before on his tours. One of them was Warm Showers. Yeah, like it was word of mouth reference, but it came with this like strong recommendation that it had this reputation of not just being a couch surfing thing where friendly people were opening up their homes, but it was people that were friendly and had a huge amount in common with you as well. So it was that level, like that extra layer of just, you know, that the people were going to be good people. Like it's such a niche thing that it's going to be someone that you'd want to hang out with, and that, you know, you'd have a nice time over dinner with, learning about their lives and sharing yours. So it was super appealing, and straight away I was looking for places along the route that I could stay.